Hi everyone. This is the self-awareness activity for the week of December 1st, or when you see the titles of the cards and it resonates with you. The first card that we get to contemplate and consider is the can't and won't card. Here we go. Can't and won't. Can't is the language of a child. It suggests inability and powerlessness. Won't is the language of an adult. It suggests choice and therefore power. It's the ability to choose, which gives us the power to deliberately create our lives. I want to talk about this before we move on because I think this is a really important one, and I think it's really relevant to now because so many of us, I would say throughout all the signs, are really at a turning point where we're getting to look at where we hold ourselves back and how we can move out of the old stories, out of the old can'ts, and how we can turn it into something different. And something different can be, I can't because I don't want to. Then it becomes a choice. It's I won't really. I can't because I don't want to is a won't. Right? Because you are owning the fact that it's your choice. It's not I can't because of some unknown power or mental mechanism or something that's getting in the way of it. It's, in this case, it's not making an excuse for making a choice to not do something, okay? Now, if you want to flip it around and look at it in a different way, can't, again, it implies that quality of powerlessness. It implies that there is something bigger than you and your choice, which is stopping you from doing something. So what we're being asked to look at this week, I think, is where have we habitually said, I can't? How is that a mantra for in general for us? If we come up against something that we haven't yet learned how to do, if we're still struggling with some emotional pattern, are we still holding the energy of can't around it? Because if we are, that becomes something that is an energy that perpetuates more closed doors. A can't, a can't. I can't. It's like reinforcing any powerlessness that you have felt. So just to take that a little bit further, when you look at the word can't and when you say I can't do something, what it's basically saying is I will never change. If I can't do it now, well, what's going to change it? Well, what's going to change it is your attitude towards the can't. If you keep saying can't, how does that serve you? Maybe it does. But it's really, to me, getting us to look at powerlessness, where that comes from. Is it something we really believe? Or is it something that it just, in a way, keeps us attached to the old story because it's easier to stay attached to the old story? It does take work to change how we approach life and how we see ourselves. So whenever you find a can't in there, think of this. How does this go back to your childhood? Is it reinforcing your childhood? It's like it's something you can really play with. And you might want to journal on this one. And you might just want to notice where you use that word and see if you want to rephrase it in some other way. Okay? I know sometimes people will say, no, I can't because I've got such and such, when they don't have such and such. They're just saying, no, I can't, because they don't want to admit they don't want to do it. And so that's another piece to look at again, because that's a quality of powerlessness as well, when you don't feel like you can set an honest boundary with somebody. And trust me, sometimes I understand, based on what's going on in a particular situation, it might be better for you in that moment to do it, but please notice when you're doing it and why, okay? I think that's really relevant to look at. The energy you're being asked to embrace this week is the energy of fierceness. And it reads like this. This is a quality of intensity and passion. There's a sense of being powerful in our ability to do things and stand for what we believe in, which kind of goes back to the can't and won't. This is not about aggression and violence, but rather one of passionate confidence and assertiveness. Again, assertiveness. Can't, won't. Where does assertiveness come in there? Now you're also being asked, or we are also being asked, to do only one thing at a time. Right? This one, today, do only one thing at a time. Some examples are, don't talk while you eat. Don't listen to music while you work. Don't talk on the phone while you cook. Focus on doing the single activity with full attention. How is it different than when you split your focus? Do you experience your senses differently? Is it more or less interesting, comfortable, enjoyable, or maybe it's harder? Now the thing is, the value to me of the only one thing card in conjunction with these two is and the intention of like really doing it fiercely. This is where this card comes in. Embrace the energy of doing this activity passionately, which is to slow things down and do only one thing at a time, to really allow your focus to be on what you were doing. What's the advantage to that? The advantage to that is you get to see where your mind wants to skittle off to. You'll find yourself enjoying the experience more, but sometimes what you'll find is you'll get really agitated because you're doing something that you're not particularly enjoying, and so you're looking for something else to kind of take your mind off it while you're doing it, so it's not quite so boring or irritating. The value of doing it one thing at a time and noticing it is noticing how you feel while you're doing it, and then checking in with why, and then asking yourself, do I need to, for example, be agitated because I'm cutting carrots? Or can I take this as almost like a meditative act? Again, why is that valuable? It's valuable because it brings in a state of observer. It brings in the state of observer. And when you're the observer, when you are in the observer position in your consciousness, you are in a higher frequency. You are more linked or more consciously aware of a higher conscious presence for many people. And what that does now, because you started the week with the can't and the won't, and you've been considering those aspects in your life, what it does is it gives you the opportunity to let those thoughts come forward, because what will happen very often when you're doing these exercises is just by reading that card and setting the intention of it, these things will start to show up in your life. You'll start noticing, oh, I'm getting distracted while I'm doing this. No, what did that card say? Okay, I'm going to passionately really focus on this. I'm going to let this be my chore right now. I'm going to chop these carrots and just notice myself chopping these carrots. And as you do those kinds of things, that's usually when your mind kicks up information about deeper stuff. I get it a lot when I do the dishes. Now, I'm going to leave you with that. I think this is actually a really, really interesting one, and I think it's very important. Again, because we are in the process of changing. And if we say we want change, please then don't go back to, and I can't, or but I can't. Shift it around. I can't change that. I can't stop thinking that way. No. Allow yourself to, in that moment, say to yourself something completely different. Again, observer, oh look, I'm feeling that way. I want to say that. What can I say instead? That is not disempowering, but rather standing and being empowered. And again, this fierceness card, the energy goes in both directions. When you find this coming up, remember your fierceness card. And when you're doing this one, remember, do it with intention, commit to it. Okay? I'm leaving you with that, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I think this is a great time of exploring where we get stuck, or where we have gotten stuck, and exploring where we can move out, Remember, every time you find a can't in your vocabulary, there is a place for freedom for you. Okay? So think of it like that. This is a good exploratory expedition. Take care.